Well, I've only got about an hour to work this morning, so I came out here to organize stuff. Um, the horn's thicker than a doornail. I tested it. I'll show you. Nothing. That's a nice little aftermarket. And I won't remount this old horn way down underneath of the motorcycle. It's just no sense to it. I will mount this horn on the front of the motorcycle up under the gas tank. I'll make a neat bracket for it, something stronger than this, and it'll have a good horn where it can be heard. The carb kits are all laid out. The carburetors are all in this box. We will combine these two eventually and put the carbs back on the bike. Head steady's ready, new head steady rubbers. Let's talk about the coils for just a moment. Something very typical of Norton coils is the fact that they get squeezed. These clamps were ever so too small, and when they bolt them down solid, they squeeze the coils and cause the coils to fail. I will ohm these coils out, make sure they're not shorted inside, and I may replace them just on general principles, because squeezing them like that really damages them. The cure is to simply put a washer in the gap when you put these together, and that'll keep it from tightening too much and damaging the coils. These are the new rubber suspension units, vibration dampeners for the mufflers. Here we have the master cylinder repair kit for the front, the master cylinder repair kit for the rear, the caliper seals, a weird bolt that I don't recognize, oil seals for the timing covers, and a strange rubber bolt that I don't recognize. I'm going to have to look up the part numbers. Some of these parts I bought, some I didn't, so every now and then you run into something that's, gee, that's an interesting bolt. I wonder what it's used for. I have to think on that. That might be part of the old airbox assembly. The oil bottle is laying right here, the oil tank. The stock rubbers, both front here and here, have ripped, of course. They always do. I replace them with these industrial rubber vibration dampeners made for use with electronic equipment. They're much more substantial, and they're actually the same length, including the part that tore off. So they're much nicer. The bottom bolt down here is the reason that these things break. I read a update saying take this bolt out. Don't bolt the bottom of the oil bottle down. Take the bolt out and just let it hang, or put a piece of rubber down there for it to sit on. I usually take a circle of rubber about this big I cut out of a hose and put it down here with some silicone and let it rest on that. So that the oil tank can move around and still be supported and still hang from the rubber mounts in the top. That'll keep it from tearing the rubber mounts, and more so, the vibration down here, if you bolt this down, will cause the tank to crack down here. And I've had to take at least 3 or 4 different tanks out and had them welded just because the bolt causes the bottom of the tank to crack. So I put this rubber around it, silicone it in place, let it rest on the rubber and still be supported by the rubber bumpers up on top, and it works really well. Before I do all that, of course, I'm going to swish a lot of gasoline in here to get the sludge out of the bottom. Once I get all the sludge out with gasoline, I will wash it out with hot soapy water and blow hot air into it to dry it, so they get all the stuff that's accumulated in the bottom of the oil tank out before I put it back on the bike. Okay, let's see, talking about the bike. The bike is still sitting here same as it was yesterday. I haven't done anything to it. It's sitting on the ISOs, that's good news. It's ready for all the stuff that goes back here. The battery box first, then the oil tank, then the rear fender, then the rear wheel, and put it back on 2 wheels. Maybe tomorrow. I have a doctor's appointment this morning, so there's not much I can do for the rest of the day. Not going to happen. Okay, what do we have over here? still in get ready mode. This bike, by the way, is almost finished. These two bikes are complete and ready to be picked up, so that's nice. Let me show you. This is just the sweetest little 250 BSA you ever want to see. I'm going to do a wiring job on this. The oil bottle is a work of art. Whoever built this bike did just exquisite machining work, building. It's a lovely little thing, and I'm just going to do the wiring and make it a little bit more, actually make it a lot more neater. So that'll be fun when I get it up on the lift. So anyway, the white bike's ready to go. The green bike, the puzzle bike, is, let's see, there's nothing outstanding on it. Really is ready to go. This bike, we have new front brakes ordered for it. Having a little difficulty finding the right brake. The front wheel might be a BSA wheel. We're still not defined on that. I have to get it back up on the lift in order to take it apart and find out. Here's the exhaust system and fender for the Norton, the black Norton I'm working on. Over here on the wall, it's amazing how much wall space a disassembled motorcycle takes. Mufflers and fender up there. Seat, which I'm going to take apart and have restuffed with fresh foam to reshape it. One side cover, we're missing the other one. The tank that's all glommed up with old gasoline that's solidified in the bottom of the tank. We'll talk about that in a minute. These are all parts that were taken off of the bike that will go back onto the bike. Over here in this box and next to it are parts that came off the bike that will not be going back on the bike. Down here is a whole box full of new parts that are going to go on the bike as I put it back together. So basically pretty organized, ready to go back together, everything in a place. The tank, I'm going to talk to the client and suggest that we buy a new tank with side covers, painted already black, from India, for less money than it would cost us to clean out the crystallized gas and probably repaint the tank, because that process would probably destroy the paint, and also to buy a new left side cover, because it's actually going to be less money to replace the tank and both side covers with painted parts than it is to recover these parts. We'll talk about that and see if we can work that out. We also have to buy a chain guard. I'll see if one of those is available for the bike. So anyway, that's where we are, getting organized, getting ready to start putting the bike back together. Perhaps tomorrow we'll start on that. I don't know how I'm going to feel this afternoon, whether or not I'll be working on the bike. So things are coming along slowly, but then that's how I work, slowly. As I replied to one gentleman today, I can do things at my own speed because I have the luxury of starting and stopping whenever I want. And time really doesn't matter to me because I'm running a non-profit shop, not on purpose, but that's the way it is. Okay, and the fun just never stops.